Hi, I'm Dana. I'm a millennial from the San Francisco Bay Area rediscovering the beauty and tradition of the Roman Catholic faith. Whether you've always called this faith your home or you're just now catching a glimpse of its beauty, I'm honored to share my journey with you. These are my Catholic memoirs. Welcome to my altar table. I wanted to quickly go over the books that I used to re-catechize myself daily as I was journeying back to the church. So I am a cradle Catholic, and I grew up with the Novus Ordo Mass. And it wasn't until 2016 that I came back to the church. And shortly after that, in 2019, I discovered the Latin Mass. After celebrating the Latin Mass and experiencing it, I knew I wanted to learn more about the faith. So these are the books that I would try to read daily. And the first one is actually not like a daily type book, but it's like definitely a great primer for catechizing yourself, which is the Treasure and Tradition book. This is a book that teaches you about the Tridentine Latin Mass. And what the Tridentine Latin Mass is, it is the extraordinary form of the Mass, and it's mostly sung in Latin or tends to have a low mass. But what I really like about this book, which although this is a book about teaching you the Tridentine Latin Mass, it is a very good primer on very basic things that we need to learn about Catholics. And of course, as Catholics, the greatest sacrifice that we have is the Mass. So learning it at the level of intimacy as we learn in the Tridentine Latin Mass is definitely a great foundation. So what I like about this book is it teaches you about the four ends of sacrifice and then about the Mass. And it's just a very nice traditional book with beautiful, clear line art, and teaches you about worship, the different parts of the Mass, and how to pray. So this is a book that I highly recommend. I believe I got this from St. Augustine Press, and they are a family-owned Catholic printing company. So I highly recommend supporting them. So this is kind of like a book that you wouldn't read every day. It's kind of like a once in a while thing. I like to read it every year just to refamiliarize with myself. The next book that I like to read every day is the Roman Catholic Daily Missal. This is the 1962 edition by Angelus Press. So this one is the one where I used to start bringing this to Mass first. It's the first one that I would bring to Mass. And it goes through all of the celebrations of Mass, from Sundays and feast days, and just goes through all of that, and even has basic prayers and calendars, and teaches about fasting and preparation for confession. So this one I usually try to read every day, especially for Lectio Divina, because I think it's very important to just follow the daily Mass at the very minimum if you're going to at least incorporate some scripture. I guess I'll just go top to bottom. So this one is a Pictorial Catechism. This is also from St. Augustine Press. Wait, sorry, is that the name? Oh, St. Augustine Academy Press. And this one I mainly got for children. So it is kind of like a more simplified version of my Catholic faith, which I will go into after. But what Pictorial Catechism is, it's also a traditional Catholic book, a more traditional book, and has beautiful line art, very black and white. It's a very beautiful, straightforward book. It'll have pictures of like one concept, one catechism topic, and then on the opposite side will be a picture. And then usually on the left side underneath the topic, it will have a verse of Bible scripture, and then give you the reference to the verse where to find that in the book, in the Bible. So here, like in this example, you go through the Apostles' Creed, and it's one of the truths to believe, and then it will break down It will go through every line of the Apostles. That looks like it was a bookmark. It will go through every line of the Apostles' Creed, including some passages from Scripture, and then a beautiful line art artwork. So this is a very wonderful book. I think this would work for older kids. It didn't work out for my younger kids, but especially if you want something that's less crowded and just focus on one topic, this is a great way to approach the catechism with pictures, which for me, I really like pictures. I am a very visual learner. And then my preferred approach for catechism is this book. This is A Manual of Religion, My Catholic Faith, a catechism in pictures. And this one is really nice because I would say this is not really for little kids, but it is for maybe like an older learner. Adults would enjoy this, and then also maybe like an older child, like a young adult. So it goes through the contents. It is around 400 pages long. But what I like about the format for this is that, see, it's here. You start also with what to believe, the Apostles' Creed. What I like about it is it still has the picture on one side, but it is a 2-page spread on catechism, teachings, questions, and also references to Scripture. So let me zoom in on this one. I'll zoom in on a couple pages and flip around. But I really like this format. This is usually my preferred approach for reading catechism every day. And what I would usually do every year is just start on the first page and go to and read one whole page and then go on to the next one. So I'll skip through a couple pages. So that is that. I really love how straightforward it is. Just 2 full page spreads, lots of little topics and bullet points for that subject matter, and then it has references to Scripture. So that is usually what I use for catechism, and it's great. I really love it. And I think, let me look for the information on who the publisher is. This one is published by Sarto House. And I got it from Amazon, so you can find a listing for it on Amazon pretty easily. The last one that I like to use is the Douay-Rheims Bible. This is the Haydock Bible, and it has notes from Reverend George Leo Haydock. And this is the Douay-Rheims edition is my preferred version of the Bible that I like to follow because it is the closest English to Latin translation done by St. Jerome. So this one is wonderful because you can take any of the scripture references like in the catechism books and look for it in this Bible. And the great thing about this Bible is it's going to be a little bit difficult since I'm holding a microphone. The great thing about this Bible is it has in the top portion, it will have the Bible scriptures, Bible passages, but on the bottom, which do you see the line? That is all commentary from Reverend Haydock, and it is commentary that he pulls from saints, from church fathers, and it goes on and pretty much dissects every single line and gives you commentary and information on the Catholic instruction behind the passages in the Bible. So it is very comprehensive. And I think in the 1800s, you can even find a lot of antique versions of this book. They're massive. But I think this was probably one of the main ways that families in the 1800s would catechize and use the Bible in their families, because it has the commentary on the bottom. And usually back then they would practice having a family Bible to record and pass down through the generations. It has some beautiful artwork and maps in the back. This is the Bible that I prefer. And this one is published by Loretto Press. Loretto Publications. There is a out-of-print edition that is leather and has gold gilded edges, but I haven't been able to find that one. So this is still a great copy that's currently available now. So those are the books that I use for recatechizing myself. And I'm interested in hearing about the books that you prefer for your catechizing, for recatechizing yourself, or just catechizing yourself in general, and what you read on the daily. So feel free to share. And if you like, I'll include some links to all of these books that I mentioned. So thank you for watching, and have a blessed day. Bye.